Moving on, massive protests engulfed Dhaka over the weekend as tens of thousands of demonstrators voiced their demands for the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the formation of a caretaker government ahead of the upcoming 2024 elections. The rallies, led by supporters of the opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP), highlighted concerns over the government's handling of rising living costs, fuel prices and allegations of electoral improprieties. The confrontations between protesters and the law enforcement turned violent, resulting in injuries, damage to public property and dozens of arrests.
Massive protests erupted in Dhaka last weekend, with tens of thousands demanding Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's resignation and the formation of a caretaker government before the January 2024 elections. Supporters of the opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party expressed frustration over what they called government's inability to control living costs and fuel prices, while also voicing concerns about the suppression of dissent and alleged election irregularities. The protests turned violent, with clashes between the demonstrators and law enforcement, resulting in injuries and property damage. A police vehicle and 3 public buses were set on fire and several private cars were vandalized during the demonstrations.
কারণ এই স্বৈরাচার সরকার কারণ যেভাবে দেশ চালাচ্ছে এভাবে দেশ চালায় না এই জন্যই আসছি আমরা এখানে নিজের ভোট নিজে দেওয়ার জন্য আজ পর্যন্ত কখনো আমাদের ভোট আমরা দিতে পারি নাই
আমাদের এখানে আসার কারণ আমরা ভোটাধিকার ফিরে পেতে চাই আমরা ভোট দিতে চাই আমরা তরুণ প্রজন্ম নিজের ভোট নিজে দিতে চাই
The police reported that around 24 officers were injured in the confrontations. However, the BNP alleged that dozens of its supporters were also injured amidst the conflict with law enforcement. According to reports, the Dhaka Metropolitan Police arrested over 90 opposition supporters, but BNP leaders claim the number exceeded 1,000. The BNP accused the current government of being autocratic and cracking down on anti-government protests, using undemocratic means to maintain its grip on power. This allegation is not new, as similar incidents occurred in the past, including the arrest of top BNP leaders last December ahead of another large rally demanding Sheikh Hasina's resignation. The situation garnered international attention, with 13 envoys, including those from the US, UK, Canada, Germany and Denmark, issuing a joint statement urging for peaceful and fair elections. The Bangladesh Foreign Ministry responded, condemning the statement by foreign powers and asserting the government's commitment to democracy. However, mounting Western criticism continues to raise concerns about the state of democracy in Bangladesh. In May, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken warned of potential visa restrictions for those undermining the voting process.
We are concerned about the reports of intimidation and political violence in Bangladesh surrounding this weekend's political protests. We encourage the government of Bangladesh to investigate reports of violence thoroughly, transparently, and impartially, and to hold the perpetrators of violence to account. We urge Bangladesh to create a safe environment for people to peacefully assemble and voice their concerns. And we call on all parties to respect fundamental freedoms and the rule of law, and to refrain from violence, harassment, and intimidation. And I will say finally that free and fair elections depend on the commitment of everyone: voters, political parties, youth wings, and police, and cannot take place in an environment with political violence.
The country has experienced accusations of vote rigging and opposition targeting in past elections, further fueling tensions in the political landscape. As the nation approaches the upcoming elections, the demand for transparency, fairness and adherence to democratic principles intensifies.